Most core training you see online is either random or purely for aesthetics. But if you want your core to actually show up on the field where power and control matter, then you need to train it like an athlete. So I'm going to walk you through 6 different categories of core training every serious athlete needs, plus 3 to 4 extra exercises because I feel like giving you guys more, and the why. So the first one we're getting into, the first category, is heavy carries. I think these should be a staple in every single athlete's programs. Front rack carries, sandbag carries. This is freaking awesome. Okay, there's a lot of stability that you're getting in the core and the hips with heavy carries like the front rack marches and the sandbag carries. Now, I'm not just leading into that. I think you also need to have some unilateral variations like a single arm farmer's carry. Okay, you're going to get some anti-lateral flexion with this and strength, and it's really going to help you learn how to brace your core hard. And if you're in a contact sport, having a strong core going into contact is a huge piece of being able to maintain balance and actually deliver a blow. Now, these are kind of a carry, kind of a plank. They're sled overhead marches. Really, these are more sprint specific of how to teach your core how to stay in alignment as you are going through more of a run mechanics. This is more for dynamic trunk control. Now, planks usually get a bad rap, or you really only see, combat sports or army type people doing a lot of planks, but they are actually very beneficial. So these are going to be most of the time in isometric. So these dumbbell pull throughs, we're getting a little bit of that core stability. When you do those, you have to flex the shit out of your hips, or else your hips are going to sway back and forth. So you're getting some good anti-rotation there. One of my favorites is barbell rollouts. I think they're great for just anti-flexion. You get it right at the end, then you get flexion pulling up and through. You can either choose to pull your knees up and through more like a hanging leg raise to target the lower abs, or you can have a little bit more on the upper body. Now, these are awesome for working multiple things. Okay, so you get your obliques going, you're working your groin. These are Copenhagen banded iso rows. Now, so many athletes don't do enough throws and slam. This is your power work. This is your rotational power work. This is coordination, everything that you need to be developing in order to express it out on the field. On the field, like the standard strength training work is all great, but never in sports are you really moving that slow. You have to be able to express power and transfer it through your core effectively, and slams and throws are going to help you be able to do that. One thing as a coach, when you're doing these, look at the intention that I'm bringing. I'm trying to pop that ball with every single rep. Okay. There's no half-assing this stuff, or else you're really not getting the most out of it. So you got to bring your intention and bring the effort when you're doing throws and slams. Now, a severely underdeveloped area for athletes is going to be the low back. And I think if athletes actually spent the time to develop it, they are going to see huge improvements in a lot of areas. Now, you saw there some Zercher good mornings. Those suck. I'll just be straight up. But you can also swap for your standard good morning where you are trying to use the low back, a little bit of glute. Now, tried and true staple, some hyperextensions. Okay, if you have a 45-degree kind of machine, I think those are even better. But if you don't, you can totally do these. And if you want to take it to a little bit more advanced level, you can add a rotation into it as well. These are underrated for sure, but so good for you. Okay, these are now just the opposite, right? Like direct flexion. Okay, so GHD sit-ups, cable crunches, all of these are really good. You're going to use some of your hip flexor and psoas during this, which is fine. That's okay. You don't have to strictly only target the abdominal muscles. These are probably one of my favorites. This is lateral flexion, and the band adds a little bit of that dynamic bouncing weight, which you're having to stabilize with the hold. So you're getting a little bit of that anti-lateral flexion with these as well. And these are going to challenge your obliques a lot, okay? Especially on the bounce and hold. I really love these, and I hope more of you try these out. But the weight's got to be heavy. If the weight's not heavy, then we're not doing it correctly, okay? So The next exercise we're going to get into is your standard hanging leg raise or hanging knee tucks. Okay, these are also really great. Trying to keep your back flat and not swing. These are going to hit the low abs and again, the hip flexors a little bit more, but you need those for sprinting. Okay. I see a lot of athletes swing. We're not doing the CrossFit bullshit where you're swinging around. We're trying to slow it on down. Now, rotational work. So with this rotational work, I want you to think of heavier rotational work compared to your throws. These are one of my favorites with the landmine oblique twist. I pretty much put all of my rotational athletes on this. Now, with those, you're not trying to use your shoulders. You're trying to lead with the obliques. This is going to be a harder version of a Russian twist, okay? So you're really having to control that weight on down. You can get a little bit better range of motion. And then the last pieces are anti-rotation. So these are banded Pavlov presses. So you're going to get both anti-rotation and anti-lateral flexion with these as you raise it up overhead. The goal is not to just push through these super quick, right? It's to have a heavy enough band, step out far enough to make it really challenging and make it incredibly hard as you raise overhead. These are awesome when done correctly. And then these are probably the hardest one of all. And I would say these are damn near full body, okay? You're having to flex your glutes, your core, your chest, stabilize the shoulder as you go down, but you're really going to help challenge that core as you're doing these single arm TRX or push-ups. I'm not leaned over very far, and these are very challenging. Thank you all for watching, and if you have any questions, please make sure to comment down below and subscribe for more.